Welcome to Dosed. And if this is your first time tuning into Dosed, thanks for being here. I do want to highlight, not all of these episodes, probably not many, will be PG. And the areas and stories we cover span across science, spirituality, the mind, the body, alternative lifestyle and healing. And you may find some of these views or stories conflicting with your own personal beliefs. And if you are upset by them, or ultimately don't like thinking for yourself, the good news is Love Island is coming back on the TV, so you can go and tune into that. Otherwise, thanks and enjoy this next episode. This episode of Dosed is brought to you by O Black Caps. So O Black Caps, they provided refuge for me when I was stuck in the classic scroll hole on Instagram. And yellow being my favorite color, their latest cap, which I'm wearing today, Phosphate, totally jumped out at me. So I ended up ordering it from Instagram or Amazon, I think it was at that point, with if I'm honest, no expectations. When it arrived though, bam, oh my God, like the quality, the style, the colors, like really pop. And for me, comparing this to other caps that I've recently purchased, these are, if not the best, one of the best on the market at the moment. But if I'm honest, that's not, the style and everything is not really what captured me. It's when I read their mission, which I'm going to read out to you guys. That was really, it just grabbed me by the nuts. And their mission statement is, our goal is to change the concept that people have of being a black sheep. Many look at these people as displaced, misfits, or those who do not fit into the current mold set. But we see them as real people, without fear of what people say, people who are true to their values and don't conform to the status quo. Harnessing this power as their innate gift, dedicating it to what they love, creating their own path for their life. What a fucking statement. For me, that was like, wow, this is incredible. And I think if you are feeling that and you want to embrace your inner black sheep, go and buy an O Black cap. We also have a discount code because they are proud. We're proud to be to having them as our sponsors. So if you keep listening through the show, I will drop the discount code so you get money off these awesome caps. Elena,
hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. Good to see you out of quarantine.
Same. Good to see myself out of quarantine.
So you talk us through what happened. So I know you only came out of quarantine. Was it Wednesday night?
Thursday morning I came out.
Thursday morning,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so why are you in quarantine?
So basically I live and play water polo in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing there for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically this past year I was there as usual.
Mm-hmm.
When the virus hit in Italy, at the time I didn't really know what to do, like whether to stay there, whether to come home.
And where in Italy were you?
Verona.
Okay, wow, so it's quite prevalent.
Exactly, very... yeah.
What was it like? What was it like there? Sorry to focus on this, I'm just intrigued. Was it like, obviously it was massive there, like in the news? And
it was like one of the first.
Yeah, was it as like drastic as the media were portraying it, or worse?
Yes, for sure.
Really?
Yes, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, it's still as bad.
Yeah.
And like for example, I have a teammate of mine who is a doctor, who works in a hospital in Padova, which is like also quite an unaffected area because it's always there in the north. And she said, like, she would tell us, that it's like it really is that bad,
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, God. So you must have been were you a bit nervous being there?
At the beginning, I was a bit, but then kind of if you take the right precautions, you wear your mask, you sanitize, and plus we stayed home most of the time. I mean, we left only to buy food, literally.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because like over there, even going for walks wasn't allowed. Like we literally just had to stay home,
so it's
go
lockdown.
either to the supermarket or to the pharmacy.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so you're not. So there's no. In the UK, you have I think it's flouters, people that are just like, screw you, I'm going out.
Okay.
Do you have that much? Or
I mean, in the north, I'm sure there are a few.
Yeah.
A few people who just don't get it and do that.
Yeah.
But there aren't many places to go, you know, like everywhere was closed.
Yeah, okay.
Literally everywhere was closed.
Yeah.
A few people would still go to work because like maybe in their office, like the conditions were, I guess, weren't that like dangerous, you know. So like they were distant, maybe 1 or 2 people per office. But apart from that, I mean, there wasn't much to do.
So when you got back here, you've basically been in quarantine.
Literally, no, exactly. I started over there at the beginning of March, like the first week of March.
Shit,
so I was in Italy for 2 months in quarantine. Yeah. And then I came here another 2 weeks.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, finally now. But I mean, over here the situation is much better, so it feels a bit more like totally normal. But it feels much freer than Italy.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like you can walk around. It's very again there's been 6 deaths here, 14 cases yesterday or day before, and I know people are panicking because there were 14 cases, but it's 14 cases. Relatively, it's not 14 deaths. I think it's like
relatively no.
I think it's.
But I think that if people like, I feel like we still need to be a bit wary of the situation because if people start to relax, then we're gonna have a second wave for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So keep washing your hands, keep your distance. This is a safe amount of distance apart. So only elbow bumping on the way out, please.
And don't go out and meet your friends. I mean, like if it's really
just use Zoom.
Essentially, exactly.
Yeah, or house party.
I mean, I used Zoom for 2 whole months if I can do it.
That's fair. So obviously we've got you on the show today. Talk about a couple of things. We want to talk about water polo because I know nothing about water polo, as do a lot of people I know. Also, you overcome a stammer when you were younger, so we want to talk about that as well, and like the challenges and how you managed to do that, which is really nice. And then obviously the fact that you've moved, you now live in Italy. Being a female, moving out of Malta is quite a I wouldn't say a rare thing, but it's not as common as you would think.
No, especially so young, I guess.
Yeah,
I was 17.
17. There we go. So from my understanding of the Maltese culture, you know, that's flying the nests, especially as a female, is quite a rare thing. So quite a few things to talk about. But I think for me, and I can definitely vouch for at least probably 2/3 of the listeners, water polo. What the fuck? Like, it's super complicated. And all the misconceptions of like water polo I have are when I've been, the last time I was in Mexico, an all-inclusive resort with my mate's wedding, and then just throwing the ball around, elbowing people in the head and thinking, okay, yes, it's water polo, sweet.
I should start.
But I know that's totally wrong. So let's start from the beginning, I guess. Like, can you, you know, what are the rules? You know, the start of the beginning of water polo. You know, what are the rules and how is it broken? How do you win a match? And then we can start from there.
Okay, so I mean, there are many things to say.
Yeah.
Basically, one team is made up of 14 players.
14, okay. Well, that's okay.
13 actually.
13, okay.
But it depends on like the competition as well, because there are tournaments which have different rules in a way. Like sometimes they kind of allow people to take in 14 people, sometimes 13 people. But anyway, usually it's 13 people on the bench. And so 13 on the bench, in the water 7. Oh,
so you're allowed your squad for the day. For the match, it's 13, but then you can. Oh, I see. Exactly. Okay, cool. That makes sense.
In the water, you're 7 against 7, basically. 7 versus 7. You have, obviously, I mean, I don't know how much I have to go like into detail, but basically there are 2 goalposts.
Just pretend I'm a 5-year-old. I have no clue.
Okay, so even like the size of the pitch varies according to like whether it's female or male, and like whether it's under 15, under 17, under 19,
I see.
so on.
So similarities to football in that sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Basically, there are 2 goalposts, like kind of like goalposts, like football.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We don't have to get that basic.
On either side.
So, like, do we have like so you say like in what would you say it's a mixture of for people that don't know? Is it like a mixture of?
It's like handball.
Okay.
In the water.
Yeah. Okay, handball is aggressive and fast, so
I mean, obviously,
the water slows you down.
In the water, you need to swim. Like, you can't run because course, you don't touch the ground.
Unless you're Jesus. Sorry, it was just a religious joke. Okay. So then do you have set formations? So do you have like 2 defenders? Do you have a goalkeeper?
You have a goalkeeper, yes. You have a goalkeeper, obviously, in the goalpost. Positions, it's a bit complicated. Basically, like let's imagine we're in attack, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of have to draw it though. It's like a semicircle.
Okay.
With the you have 5 people on the semicircle and 1 man in the middle.
Okay.
Of the semicircle.
Yeah.
Like called the center.
So
like the center. You call
okay.
Center.
I'm just trying to. We're gonna have to dumb this down for me a little bit again. So if we are so you have a pitch, and then where is the semicircle?
So if you're trying to score in the other team's goalpost.
That's okay. That's a semicircle. It's not a box.
Wait, what?
Okay, so the semicircle is like.
So if there's the goalpost.
Yeah.
Their goalpost. So this is our goalpost and this is their goalpost. You swim up.
Yeah.
There's a goalpost here.
Yeah.
And you create a.
Yeah, I see.
Semicircle with the center right in front of the goalkeeper, essentially, literally right in front of the goalkeeper, and the defenders are right in front of each player. So there's always one player for each person. Okay. There's never 2 people marking. On one and you just leave one alone.
Okay.
And I mean then so basically the only positions that there are is basically the center. The last man, who is the one who's furthest away from the goalpost.
I see, yeah.
And he's usually more of a defender. In fact, he's pretty far away from the goalpost.
Yeah, I see.
And what the last man does is defend the center of the other team.
Yeah.
So then when the other team goes in attack, and the other team's center is in the center, and the last man defends the center of the other team.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So it's a bit like netball. Netball would have a goal attack kind of.
I don't know. I don't know the sport, so I can't confirm.
Okay, me either that well. So it's fine. It's probably a bad comparison.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then basically the other 4 players, they're quite random in a way. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Usually the people who are closest to the to the corners are the ones who swim a bit more.
Oh, so they'd be
who are a bit faster.
Like wingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see, okay.
And whereas the ones in the middle, so in between the last man and the ones at the corner, they're usually more shooters.
Okay. So they've got an eye for goal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even the center, though, it has quite an eye for the goal. Okay. I think the center's very important positioning.
Is the striker, I guess. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
And then also... basically because I'm left-handed.
Okay.
And that's that gives you a very big advantage in the sport, I guess.
Really?
Because they're quite rare.
Yeah, okay.
And basically on the right side of the semicircle, if you have a right-hander, then it's really hard to score, to hit the.
Well, you can come inside and then throw one in the top corner with your left.
Exactly. When you're left-handed, the goalpost is much more open. The angle is wider.
Yeah,
I
guess.
Exactly. Whereas right-handed, so left-handers, I guess, are advantaged.
Nice. Okay. Wow. That's why you've been courted by the Italians. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So and then in terms of scoring, so is it's just your 1 point for a goal, pretty standard stuff
1 point for a goal. Yeah. Then I guess. Basically, I think one of the main aspects of it is that very often there are exclusions, basically. So the center's role, usually, I mean, it's very general. But anyway, the center's role would be to basically try and obtain a foul.
Oh, I see.
But a heavy foul.
Okay.
Quite a heavy there are basically some
so put their body in the
rules
way
which kind of say because there are different kinds of fouls. There's there's a simple foul which is just it's a foul, nothing happens.
Yeah, okay.
Just the ref whistles, and the player has to like distance himself a bit, and that's all.
Okay, yeah.
But then there are some fouls which basically chuck out a player for 30 seconds.
Oh, like a sin bin. So you have like a sin bin. So in rugby, you'd put someone in the sin bin, or ice hockey, someone goes in the sin bin for like, oh God, my Canadian friend's going to kill me. 8 minutes, let's say. I say 8 minutes.
8 minutes is a bit much, as in.
Ice hockey's quite long. It's a bit longer though. So.
Okay.
Well, that's why they shouldn't do it. That's why it's called a sin bin.
No, as in, for us, this player goes out for 30 seconds only. So for the length of an attack, basically. And so basically, then the other team has one player less.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's 7. So it's 6 against 5, because obviously the two goalkeepers.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's 6 against 5, and that gives you like that. It increases the chances of scoring by a lot.
Yeah.
And so people usually go in search of like getting this foul. You know what I mean?
So how would I foul someone? So if I'm the centre, I'm like, okay, I want to get this guy sent off.
I'm not a centre, so.
Okay.
Like.
Okay, say I'm a winger. I'm like, okay, this person's a bit aggressive. How do I? What is classed as a bad foul? Like an elbow or like a scratch? Or
if
something,
you hit, then like that's you. Like if the ref sees you clearly hit a person, then you just get chucked out.
Sent off.
Like you can't play anymore.
Oh, okay.
For that game.
Wow. Okay.
It's really hard to describe.
I guess it's a bit
let's say players swimming and the defender pulls his swimsuit or pulls his like arm away, like tries to stop him from swimming. That's an exclusion. Like.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's kind of any obstructions.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And is there any rule around? So you're about to shoot. Can I jump up and block that? Is that fine? Is anything I can and can't do?
If you block the ball, is fine. Like exactly. Like as in, that's a thing which you have to do, kind of. If you see that a person is going to shoot, you put your arm up to block the ball, and in fact, like that's a large aspect as well of waterpolo. Like the blocks are very important. I mean, you can kind of hit the arm, but you can't like jump on him,
Yeah. Okay.
Like
so
you can't attack, like.
I think that's the difference between when I was playing, playing in a pool in Mexico where about 15 people jump on one person because it's funny. So I think, obviously you can't touch the floor. Like, is that
no.
It's too deep?
I mean, exactly, because it's too deep. You literally can't. But if you're like really tall, and you can, I guess, but it's not even worth. Like you can't run in the water. It's too slow. You like so whatever. You just swim.
Yeah, so you're constantly swimming. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So, and the reason obviously we're talking about water polo because water polo is prevalent in Malta. There's like they go absolutely nuts over here. I've seen the trophies that they go on the buses around like when they win. So I think I want to say who won last? Was it Slima won last? Who won last year? The men's? Do you know?
Last summer.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know.
Okay.
Neptunes or San Julian? I think Neptunes.
I think it was Neptunes actually. I think you're right.
God.
And anyway, I just saw that's why I was like, what the hell? Why are people going so crazy? And I was like, okay, this is a lot bigger than I appreciated. I think it's been going on since the 20s over here or something ridiculous, right? So, that's 100 years, bloody hell. Which is insane when you think how coming from the UK anyway. Water polo is just not a thing. I mean, I'm sure there are clubs, of course, but it's just not. Just not a big. There are other sports you're typically ushered into. So what was it that? Where did it start for you? This whole journey. How did you know you were good at water polo, and what were the kind of first reasons you got into it?
So basically, as a family, we've always been really into swimming. Because I have 2 older brothers who both swam all the time, and so obviously I swam as well since I was 3 years old. Always been swimming. My 2 brothers played football as well, whereas I played basketball. So basically, the sports for me was swimming and basketball.
Yeah, I see.
Then when I was 11, me and my friend Maya, who's definitely listening to this right now, by the way, she's obsessed with podcasts.
Oh, really?
So she was really happy when
Hi, Maya.
she knew about it.
Make sure you subscribe to YouTube as well. Thanks very much.
Both of our brothers are friends.
Okay.
And so like we kind of spent our whole childhood together. And when we were 11, we decided we wanted to start a new sport, and we wanted to start football with our brothers because they both played together.
Yeah.
But the team which our brothers played in had no female team basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
like
they played at a decent level. Did they? They played for semi-professional club? Or?
No.
Oh, just.
They were young. They were like 13.
Okay. So just recreational. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Then basically we just decided to start water polo instead. Plus we knew how to swim. Yeah. Both of us, pretty well. And so we just started to play water polo with our brothers. Literally, like we're playing in the same team as them.
Oh wow! In a male team.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow! Okay.
And after a year, she stopped playing. So then I remained on my own, and I played with the boys for 3 years.
Okay.
Literally just in a boys team. But then at a point, another girl came and joined me basically. So I had her thankfully as well. Yeah. So I wasn't completely alone.
Do you think playing water polo with boys from a younger age has put you in good stead? Because was it more physical than if you're playing with girls?
Good question. I don't know. It could be. I mean, it definitely helped, like, kind of make me a bit, tougher in a way, but more mentally, I'd say, than physically. Because, I mean, right now, as a water polo player, I'm not aggressive at all. Like, whereas you should be, as in, it's like wanted to in water polo. Like, you need to be aggressive. Yeah, okay. Like, I mean, in all sports, I guess, right? Okay. In all sports, I mean, not just in water polo. Mm-hmm. And I've never been very aggressive in the water, and I guess that's my like weak spot. Like that's what kind of loads of coaches have always told me, that I'm not aggressive enough, that I have to be like more. My whole life I've heard that comment. You're
just a flair player, that's why. It's obviously not a bad thing.
So I'm just too nice of a person,
And okay, so then obviously you started playing in this mixed team ultimately. So what?
Mm-hmm. We're two girls though.
Yeah. So what point did you then decide? Okay, I'm pretty good at this. Like maybe I should keep on.
Honestly, I don't know. Like I don't know if it ever really hit me. Like wow, I'm actually quite good at this. I was just at the time I was playing it just because I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Like it was, and it's. I mean, I honestly don't know like where I would be right now without water polo in my life, kind of, because I think it's just sport in general. Even when you're young, it's like it's good. It's essentially like to take a break. Like you need to take a break from school. Yeah. It was just like an escape for me. Mm-hmm. And so I was just enjoying it. Yeah. I was just enjoying my friends as well, my teammates, even though they were like the majority were boys. Mm-hmm. They were still always really nice to me. Yeah, nice. And so I don't know, I was just enjoying it. And then after a while, and I think in 2014, we managed to form a female team. Okay. Exiles girls team. And at the time, there actually was like a female league going on, but it was very relaxed, and it was something that they would play only in summer. Like it was like a little like hobby that they would play in summer. It wasn't like a whereas I would train with the boys throughout the winter months. Yeah. Okay, wow. Whereas most other girls wouldn't, it would just be like a summer thing. Okay. So that's why I kind of remained in this boys team. Mm-hmm. Then thankfully we managed to create a female team with Exiles, with which I managed to train during the winter as well. Yeah. So that's
winter training. So what does that consist of?
In Malta. So
or just in general, like for water polo, what would you do? How do you train, and how do you train actually overall? And what's the difference with winter training?
I mean, it's I don't know, because it's different between Malta and Italy for me, like professional and non-professional.
I see.
Like,
okay.
It was very. I mean, they're two like really different things, I guess.
So let's start with what it used to be. So in Malta, how did you used to train, and then we can see the difference.
In Malta, basically just training every day from Monday to Saturday, once a day.
Okay.
In the evening, from around 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock, not as in like the time slot would be exactly.
Yeah. And that consists of just literally playing, or would you have like drills you do, or would you be like, okay, this week we're going to work on, or today we're going to work on this tactic where you're passing it from up the left, then over to the right, and then in, kind of tactics like that, or
basically I think a normal water polo session would consist, like, it's usually lasts an hour and a half, I'd say.
Okay.
You start off swimming always. You start off like doing a few laps swimming.
Okay. Yeah, you need to be.
Sometimes some sessions consist of just swimming, where you literally want to die. Like, it's like water polo players just all hate having to swim, rightly so, because we chose to play a sport.
Yeah.
With a ball. Like, why do we need to swim? But anyway, I guess the normal session would consist of first some swimming, then passing, shooting, and then tactics, or as a game, like a game between, amongst the team.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
That's all. Then obviously it varies.
And then do you have to build up your leg strength? Because surely to be able to shoot, obviously there's no floor to touch, so you can't kick yourself up, and so you're having to like really kick to come up out of the water and block and everything else.
Yes, and there are also sessions dedicated as well to leg work.
Right, I see.
So,
okay.
Like jumps, a lot of breaststroke, bicycle kick.
Okay.
Drills, I don't know,
So is all the training done in the water, or is it, are you doing gym work, leg work at the gym and stuff as well?
Again, it depends on how professional you are as a team. Like when I was playing with the female team here, we only trained in the water. We never really did gym.
Yeah, okay.
But when I got to Italy, I mean, at a professional level, gym is a must. You need to build up weight, like muscle mass.
Yeah, of course. Okay. And again, especially when you're going into like international competitions, this is no longer just some fun in the sun.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, it's a big difference. Okay, so then what happened? Obviously, there came a point where you were like, okay, I'm doing well. We've got a women's league now, which is awesome. I'm assuming you did well. Did your team do well in that league? Yes, we did.
Okay. The first league which we participated in, like the first time that we participated, we won the knockout.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
It's like the equivalent of like the FA Cup in
football.
football.
I see. Okay, nice. Okay.
So like there's the league and then there's the knockout.
Yeah.
Like they're two separate.
Yeah. Okay. So like a cup competition in the league. Okay. So you won the cup.
Had won the cup.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Sorry, the knockout. Okay. Well, that's quite a feat for your first season.
Definitely, we're really happy.
And then what was there then investment that followed that into the okay, we're pretty decent. And I imagine there was a club owner or something who was like, okay, we need to
and
on this.
Our coach as well really was very into like growing female water polo in Malta.
Let's think about the owners, like club. So the coach was like interested in growing female water polo in Malta. So I was saying, after winning a cup, was there then? Did you get on the radar to whether the club owner, the coach, or even other people to be like, okay, look, these girls are good, so
there's
we should
potential.
Yeah, we need to invest.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, I guess the focus was most of the time it was on trying to get girls to start playing the sport. Like,
I see.
A lot of energy was spent on that because there are two little girls. Two little females playing, like who play.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, year by year, people stop playing, they give up, they get discouraged. And so I think it's a constant struggle trying to get people to start the sport.
Yeah.
Girls to start playing the sport.
Yeah. Okay, we can come back to that. This is quite an interesting point. So what happened then? So fast forward to you're 17 from this, and then you're like, okay, I'm doing well in Malta, but clearly if you, and I'm maybe speaking for you, so please jump in.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly you felt that there was a bit of a, let's say you're a big fish in a small pond. The opportunity was limited. The training was okay, but you felt that given potentially you had more potential.
Exactly.
Especially at 17, you're still growing. You're still a lot happening, right? So how did you end up then in Italy? Was there a scout, or did you apply, or talk us through how you ended up all of a sudden in Verona in Italy from
okay, so
17.
even like this part's a bit complicated as well, to be honest. But essentially, basically, there was a coach, and an Italian coach, the coach of Verona at the time, who had come to Malta a few years before, basically.
I see.
With his junior team,
Right.
to just play around in
Like
summers
a
or
tour.
tournaments.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And he had come to our club as well. And at the time, I was playing with the boys.
Yeah.
I was still playing with the boys. So
Yeah.
it's it was 2014, I think.
Right.
And he basically, I don't know, at the time he just saw me and at that time asked me if I wanted to try a bit in Italy, but obviously it was I was too young.
Yeah. Okay.
There was no way I was going at that
14,
age.
Yeah, of course.
But he just kind of kept me in his mind a bit. Then in 2017, I think, he was kind of he was trying to start a new team in a way. He was trying to create a new team.
Okay.
And he was looking for players that are, which he could get. And he remembered about me somehow. And he asked me if I wanted to, to have to try out with their team. So basically in 2017, I went to play this trial in Verona. But it was the year of my A-levels.
Oh, okay.
So what I did is I went up in September for a few days, for 10 days.
Did you go? Did your parents join you? Your brothers?
For the first few days, yes, but
Okay.
But then they went back home and I stayed there. Then again in November I went up for 10 days. Because at the time I had to obviously go to school.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do much.
This must have been much more exciting than school. I remember when I was 17, I was going to play sport in a different country. Fuck yeah, I was going to do that. Forget school.
I mean,
so how are you?
Missing school was the good part, but it was also, I mean, it was also a really scary experience, just going completely out of your comfort zone and joining a new team, another language that I'm not used to.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, I'm super happy that I did do it. Yeah. So anyway, then basically at the time the team was in the A2 league, which is the second league. So the league started in January, and so what I did is I went up to play games with them every 2 weekends, basically. So every 2 weekends I would fly.
Wow. I bet they're like, oh my God, we got an international superstar flying in.
What?
Wow. Okay, that's nice.
And I mean, considering that year was my A-level year, and every 2 weekends I would go up. I mean, honestly, now when I think back, I think how did I manage?
Of course.
But honestly, I didn't struggle that much. I didn't struggle much with the organization of time, studying. I didn't really. Okay. It wasn't a problem. I guess I was more efficient back then, because now I struggle with university and at the time I was really organized. I don't know what happened.
I guess while you're on the flight's an hour and a half to Verona?
I used to fly to Bologna, which is an hour and a half, and then I would have to get the train. So
yes, I mean that's at least an hour's worth of work you can do on the plane as well. So it's
I wouldn't study on the plane though.
No, okay, just watching movies.
I'd sleep.
Fair enough. I would do the same.
I mean, most flights were early in the morning, so.
Yeah. Okay. No, so, okay. So then at that point, you're still coming back and forth. And so, dialing back a little bit. So the season starts we started in January.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor pools.
It's cold.
Wow. Okay.
No, indoor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes it a bit easier. And then is the Italian league all? So the whole season, is that all indoor, or are there different leagues for outdoor and indoor?
No, it's all indoor.
Everything's indoor. Okay.
It's indoor mostly. I mean, maybe towards the end of the year, like in May, in Sicily, they like open up pool, like, well, even in other areas. In May, they're like allowed to like open up the pool and make it outdoor, but
it's still pool based.
Yeah, it's not always pools, no sea.
Because I was going to say that if and that's obviously a difference in Malta. Some of the pitches are in the sea, some are in the pool. Mm-hmm. Now, unless you're using salt water in the pool, you're more buoyant in the sea. Mm-hmm. So is it not easier? I mean, it's more difficult.
They say that it is, but honestly, I don't like every time that I come back here and I try to play in the sea, it's only a struggle for me. Like, it's more of a struggle because of the waves mostly, and because of the salt. Yeah, it's just uncomfortable. Like, but I mean, scientifically, it should be easier, but
it's not. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay, no. Again, it makes more sense that it's all in a pool, because then it's ultimately a level playing field. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is fair, and that means you can play it for longer. Okay, so let's go then into the different types of training. So now you join when they're in the A2 league. Mm-hmm. So what happened in your first season?
So my first year was the whole A-level year, where I was going up every 2 weekends. So I didn't play a huge part in like what they were doing that season. Okay. Plus, I like at that time I wasn't really a good player for them. I was quite an average player. Right. I mean, I was good, but I was just like, I was average. A squad player.
Okay.
And so that year, I guess, was nothing special. We remained there in the A2 league. That's all. In the summer, I came back here to Malta. Mm-hmm. I had no idea what I was gonna do the next year. Then I got a call basically from the coach who's the current coach of this team, because the coach changed basically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so this new coach came in and wanted to start and kind of wanted to create a better team in a way. He like wanted to to get more players in. Yeah. So he called me, asking me if I wanted to move there completely, like, and do the whole year with them.
To commit, basically. Yeah. Okay.
He called me in like end of August, and I had to make a decision within a month, and it was honestly the most stressful. No, it wasn't the most stressful, but it was close to one of the most stressful times.
So you were 17 at the time?
I was. Was I?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Was I 17 or 18? I think I was 17, because I turned 18 in October. Okay. So I moved there when I was 17, but I was about to turn 18. Okay.
And I'd imagine, I don't know if you had relationships here or anything. Did you have to make a decision?
Well, I didn't have a boyfriend, but I had friends and family.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But it was just the idea of having to leave and
leave for sport as well. It's a big. It must be scary.
It's just going into the unknown. Like, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
And how are your parents with this? Because how are your parents all the way through this? So they must have seen the potential. They were taking you to Waterpolo back in the day when you were in Malta, and then to get to this point, how was your mum about it? Losing her baby girl.
And my father.
Yeah. Okay. Well, of course. Actually, the father also. So.
Exactly. I think it's also a bit worse for the father, because I'm like his little princess.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's not easy for. Anyway, like for me, neither for them. It was just like it's never easy, but they know that. They're older, they're wiser, and they knew. They couldn't be the ones to stop me. Like, they couldn't tell me like, no, stay here. They know that it's a huge opportunity. Obviously they're going to encourage me to go. As much as it might hurt to lose your daughter. Like, it's literally like you're literally leaving home, and I would have never thought that I would leave home so early.
It's rare in Malta, so it's.
I mean, when I was young, I mean, when you're young, you think that you're gonna stay home for so much longer, like, and all of a sudden, like, I had a month to decide whether to stay here or to leave, and I mean, ever since then, because then things change. Like, it's like when I come back, I mean, it's the same, but like it's a kind of. It's not 100% the same, you know.
Yeah. Well, and you evolve because you end up becoming a lot more independent, and you know what.
And every time that I come back, you know, it's always it's always temporary. It's never like I'm coming back permanently. So I'm back home. Yeah. It's like I'm back home for a few months or like for a few weeks.
To visit. It's always a visit.
It's to visit, exactly.
Yeah. You're not coming back to live with the parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is I would
so at the time, I mean, it was hard. Just leave, and plus I have a very close relationship with my family and with my brothers as well. We're all really close. So at the time it was really hard.
So let's talk through your first year then. So when you're living in Verona,
yeah.
You live in Verona. Do you have your own apartment? Have you got like you're in halls with other players, or how you know what's the setup?
We had a little apartment. We were 4 people living in one apartment, basically. Okay. A small little house. I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Apartment house.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a hard year. It was a hard first year, because I mean, it was like, when I think back, many things weren't in my favor, I guess. But
such as,
I don't know. I mean, I guess the people who I lived with didn't make it like easier for me, let's say.
Okay.
That's one thing. Then the language was a huge challenge for me, learning, because I'm already quite a shy person, I guess. Depends. But it was the whole problem with the stammer was a huge problem that year.
I see. Okay. And that was because of the changing surroundings, perhaps, or
it was because of the language. Because because basically I got over my stammer in English.
Yeah.
More or less. I mean, obviously every now and then it comes out, but it's not very noticeable. But when it comes to other languages, so both Italian, Maltese, my stammer comes out because I think it's more psychological, my stammer. It's not really neurological.
Okay.
I think it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm still trying to understand.
Yeah, no.
Day,
I wish I knew. Okay, so that came out. That was manifesting.
Because I mean, you're new. You're a new person to everyone. Everyone wants you to talk.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I understood Italian well, and I understand Italian well. Yeah. So even at the time, I understood everything that they told me. But when I would speak, it would seem like I didn't know how. Like, I was really slow and everything. So I guess the difference is that they kind of expected me to speak a bit more because they knew that I knew the language. So it's like, why is she not talking? Like, why is she, you know?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, even though at the end of the day, they were all very nice. Like, the whole team was nice to me, but it was all in my own head, you know? Like, I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to stammer.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle.
Exactly. So even though they maybe might have, like, they wouldn't have told me, like, they wouldn't have made
you uncomfortable.
Fun of me or anything.
Yeah.
But it was just, I didn't want to show it, you know? So I wouldn't talk. And then just, you know, you have to make new friends.
And at 18, I guess you would have been 18, so that you're quite impressionable at that time.
Exactly.
A bit, obviously, very, very vulnerable because you're in a new space. More so because you're putting pressure on yourself because of the stammer. So it must have been...
Yeah, and even from a water polo point of view, I wasn't very, you know, I wasn't good. I was just, they knew that I had a lot of potential. But the thing is that the switch from Malta to Italy was huge.
Yeah.
Water polo wise as well.
Why?
It's crazy, like how many things I learned, because I thought that when I'm leaving Malta, I thought that I knew how to play water polo, that I knew that I just knew how it worked. I thought that from then on, my, like, it would just be me kind of improving. But I didn't realize that there was like a whole other world of like water polo things that I didn't know.
Okay.
It's hard to explain because I'd have to like go into detail, I guess. But
so going into a bit of detail. So do you mean in terms of mental preparation or
no, like literally the game, like aspects of the game.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like it gets very technical. And it's very mental as well.
Okay.
That's the thing that for me here, water polo was very physical. It was very like how you shoot and how you pass, like how strong your legs are.
Yeah. Okay.
And like that's all.
Yeah. So
and like swimming fast,
Okay, more of a physical sport.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas I had like skills.
Yeah.
Whereas on a professional level, it gets very mental. Like there are a lot of tactics that you need to learn.
Yeah.
But like a lot.
Okay.
of things that you just need to learn. You need to like understand the game.
Is that so? You need the ability to be able to read the game because
exactly reading the game.
So if you're on the wing and someone passes a certain way, then you're like, okay, that's my cue because I know we
things like that. Yes, okay. Like super.
So you have to be
technical things.
Switched on. You have to be fully aware of what's happening.
Exactly.
No matter where you're on the pitch.
Exactly. You need to exactly. And that was a huge. That was a huge change for me because I had to open my mind to a new world literally. And so everyone there saw that I could shoot well and that I could swim fast and that I could do all these things. But mentally, I had I was close to clueless.
Yeah.
And so that whole year was just like me learning how to understand the game, how to read the game, and all that. And I mean, I had a few teammates who were quite hard on me at the time. Right. I mean, rightly so.
Yeah.
I don't want to victimize myself.
And it's also a bit of tough love, isn't it? I think when you're training with people of a certain level, they're gonna beat you a bit.
Exactly.
But that's good for you.
They want to do well. They want to win. So they kind of try to like wake me up, wake up.
But still, as an 18-year-old, that's still a bit like
away from everything comfortable.
So you'd have to adapt quickly then. Otherwise, you could quite easily. You could let all of this get to you, I would imagine. So what were you? Is there anything you drew on when you were feeling particularly low, or you were feeling like, oh, this is difficult? What did you pull on, whether from your past, your family, mentally, to be able to get you through a tough couple of months? Let's say, what did you do?
Honestly, it was never like a conscious thing it was not like a conscious thing a conscious thought that I would think and say, okay, I'm gonna keep going. It was just I just knew that I had to keep going. I knew there was something in me that told me that it was going to get better. I was going to learn how to speak Italian well, and I was going to learn the rules of the game, and I was going to get better in the game, and it did happen. I mean, the first 3 months I'd say were the worst, like October, November, December. And I remember that I couldn't wait to go home for Christmas. Like I couldn't wait. I was really excited for to go home to family and everything. And then when I had to go back in January, I was dreading it absolutely.
Really? Okay.
But I knew I had to.
Yeah. Okay.
And then from then on, it kind of went downhill. Like it's
got easier. Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah.
And in the end, end of May, end of June, I didn't want to come back to Malta.
Oh, really? Okay, so then you kind of went over the hump, really, and like, okay, actually, I prefer it over here.
Yeah.
So were there? I mean, were you doing, just again go back to the difficult period, because I think it's just interesting for people that everyone goes through, whether it be sports or work, whatever, family problems. I think everyone does go through grey periods like that where it's a bit more difficult. Were you doing things like, were you like self-talking? It sounds like you were saying, almost kind of reassuring yourself, like, okay, this is tough at the moment, but we keep working hard and we'll get through it. We'll get easier. Is that what you were doing, or what was the
I feel like, I mean, the more you experience these moments, the better you get at kind of dealing with them. And I still deal with them till now. I mean, like up until a few months ago when I was still there, like it's a constant, like it's constantly like this. With sports.
Yeah. Well, your confidence can be up and down depending on does it go game by game, or is it kind of month by month, or just performance by performance?
I'd say performance by performance. I mean, there are months where you're like you're at your like in really good shape, doing really well, and then something just brings you back down, and you have no idea what it is. And it's hard.
Yeah.
But I guess the more that these things happen to you, the better you get at dealing with them.
Yeah.
But it's funny because these things kept on happening to me, as in I kept having like difficult moments. It was always like a different under a different point of view. Like basically last summer, my experience with the Italian national team was kind of the same. It was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I was again in an environment of which I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay.
People that I didn't know. And again, people who knew each other but who didn't know me.
Okay, yes, it's the click.
It was the same thing. Like,
it's like anything, yeah.
And again, people at a very high level. And I was quite at their level, but
I mean, you're quite funny because you keep saying, "Oh, I'm not that good," even though you've already got a bronze medal and a silver medal. Yeah, I'm just average. Yeah, sure.
Well, it's important to be humble.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair enough. It's good. So that's obviously you kind of alluded to that. So let's start talking about making the next jump up, which was at the international level. Obviously you're half Maltese and half Italian.
Because my mom is Italian.
Your mum's full Italian. Okay, yeah.
And my dad is actually half Italian himself.
Really? Okay.
Because his mother was Italian.
Okay, so you're more Italian than you are Maltese.
Exactly, technically I am, but I've been living here for my whole life.
So you were drawn to the Italian team anyway, or you started with the Maltese
national team.
A
few years ago. Yeah. Right before.
But that was at a junior level, and then you've since then decided to represent Italy at the world stage. So let's talk about your first. Let's talk about your first cap on the Italian for the Italian club.
Okay, so basically, it started last summer in June.
So when did you get the call up? How did that happen? Did you get an email? Did you get a text?
A text.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay. Funny, guess you're in one of those, or like. Was it a bit more professional?
More detailed, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Okay.
From the team manager.
Okay. And did you know is it a he or she?
She.
Okay. Did you know who she was already, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she's the same one as the senior female Italian team.
I see. Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
She's like the same for all of the female national team. Basically.
Wow. Okay. So she's a bit of a big deal. Okay. So you were like, wow, okay, I've just got a message from.
But the thing is that I had done an experience. A year before. In January, I basically did a week of like a training camp.
Okay.
With the senior team. So with literally the senior team.
Wow.
And it was not last January, the one before.
Okay. So 2019. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
So what did that? So how did that come about? Was it like just the junior team combined with them, or was it just like, hey, we're doing this, can you come and try out?
So basically, my coach had reached out to the national team coach, spoke a bit about me because since I wasn't in the Italian scene from when I was young, since I was always here.
Yeah.
So he wanted to kind of introduce me to the new coach, kind of show him, kind of, he wanted to show me off.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah, nice.
And so basically, this coach wanted to see how I played, how I trained, how I was. So he called me up for this 6-day training camp with the senior team, and I was horrified. I was terrified, and it was one of the worst weeks of my life.
You've had a few of these. This is the worst week of your life so far, is it? Okay.
No, I mean, because I'm just not good in those situations.
Yeah. I guess because you're under pressure and you're in the spotlight to a degree.
But also, they had no idea why I was there.
Oh wow! Okay, so you're just thrown in.
It's a senior team, and I was still I wasn't that good. I mean, I had potential and everything, but so I mean, I understand why they were confused, and so was I.
Yeah.
But essentially, it was just for them to get to know me, to see a bit how I train and all that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just, I just felt very
nervous.
Yes, but I was I was just, you know, kind of the odd one out, I guess.
Okay.
So anyway, so I basically knew the coach and I knew this team manager already from this experience.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, so that helped. Okay. Even though it was painful at the time, in the long run, it served you well. Okay.
I guess so.
There's a moral to this story.
I mean, it did serve me because I learned obviously a lot that week. I mean, I still learned.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is, it's still it's a learning experience. Like
So that was ultimately another step up, right? From your national team.
That was before the national, as in this training camp was before the national team of the experiences that I had last summer.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 2 years ago. I mean, it was really random. No one was expecting this, this Elena who is she and what's she doing in a training camp with the senior team? You know, like other players just saw me.
It's almost like you got into the wrong pool. You're like,
exactly.
What are you doing? Okay, fair enough. But you got through it. You survived, which is key. So then comparing the national competitions. Let's go and jump into the university. What came first? University games.
University games, yeah.
Okay, so that's when you're still at Verona, right? But that was at a national level.
What?
That was international level.
International, with the university team of Italy.
Yeah, I see. Okay. So talk us through
basically
that competition.
University games happen every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Summer.
Yeah, okay.
Basically all university teams from all over the world, they join and they play against each other.
Wow, okay.
And they called me up at around the end of May, and we had a training camp first with our coach basically. Yep. We were 14. And she had to send home one person.
Oh, no. So were you secretly hoping someone got injured?
No, I was honestly no. It's going to sound bad. But basically this training camp was 2 weeks long and I was dreading it. It's another thing I dreaded. And a part of me wanted to not get chosen, honestly. It was that bad.
Why? What, because you were just nervous or...
You
just didn't believe in yourself?
That's for sure. I mean,
okay.
Definitely not. But again, I just always felt like it wasn't really like my place, kind of like I wasn't really meant. I didn't deserve to be there in a way.
Okay.
But I ended up getting chosen, and it got better from there.
Well, because I'd imagine
the moral of the story.
Yeah, well, because I'd imagine then your confidence, once if you're doubting yourself, but then others believe in you, and then.
But
it
was kind of a bad situation because it wasn't really basically the only reason why she chose me was because that same summer there we had the World Championships under 20. And so they wanted me to have some kind of international experience before going into that.
Oh wow! So it was almost like fast tracking you to be like, okay, you have the potential to go into the World Games.
Exactly. So
let's get
some experience here.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay. And you managed to you did quite well at the university games clearly.
And it was fun too because it was a whole month of us. All water polo players under one roof, so male and female, all under one hotel.
Yeah. Oh my god, I bet it was a carnage afterwards.
Well, no, we're very
professional.
I mean, they watched us pretty closely. You couldn't really.
Where was it? Which country?
Naples.
Oh, it was in Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
I could have they were supposed to be held in some place in South America.
Oh,
I forgot which.
Okay, where. Slight difference.
And then, so I could have gone to
Rio or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no, I had to.
Exotic. Naples exotic to a degree.
South Italy, from north to South Italy. But it was good in the end because obviously there, the supporters were all there for us, and it was huge. It was honestly the opening ceremony. was held in the most famous pitch in Naples.
Wow. Okay.
Forgot the name now. São Paulo.
Okay.
And it's like a huge pitch, a huge football pitch.
Oh wow. Okay.
Football pitch. Yeah.
Okay.
Full of people, like this.
So it's in the actual
stands
Naples.
were sold out.
It's in the ground, the football ground, the Napoli's ground.
Exactly.
Oh wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was there.
Okay. Geez.
As in the opening
ceremony.
It was kind of like the Olympics opening ceremony. You know how like there's all like
the
cool
flags
stuff.
And, wow. Okay. So that's a big deal.
Exactly. And so and each country would get called, one by one, like would all sit down.
And how many
on
countries?
The pitch.
How many countries are there, roughly?
A lot, because it wasn't just for water polo; it was for all sports. The university games are for all sports.
Oh, I see. So it is like a Olympics. Just
exactly, it was all Olympics, but university team Olympics.
Wow. Still okay. That's impressive.
Yeah. And then when they called Italy, like the sound of everyone just cheering, and you just like this huge space of people, and like all eyes on us.
I bet your hairs were standing on end.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you're
and
like, wow,
it was
power
live as well on an Italian channel. I don't know which one. Some Rai.
Yeah. Okay.
Rai something. So it was big, but I mean that I ended up really enjoying myself there, even though I didn't really play much.
Mm-hmm.
Like the coach didn't play me.
Okay.
I was on the bench for a majority of the game.
But then it's about getting the experience of being away, right?
No. And then, like, at first I did take it a bit badly, but then I just kind of chose to take it with like a pinch of salt, just like whatever, let's just have fun.
And when was
enjoy
this?
Ourselves.
Last summer?
Last summer, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you would have been 19 then?
19.
Yeah, so you're still super young, so it's kind of like give you the experience, get on the bench,
but I mean
that environment.
I mean we're all around approximately the same age, like 19, 20, 21.
Yeah.
But anyway,
okay,
it was good.
But that then obviously fast tracked you. But you and the team did pretty well. You got to the final.
Exactly, we got to the final.
Who beat you?
Hungary.
Wow, didn't even know they'd be good at water polo.
They're really good. They're all the top. One of the top teams, even like for both male and female.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know the Italian. I've got a very good friend who used to play for the South African water polo team. Male.
Male.
And he was saying that the Italians are tough.
Oh yeah,
tough
they
to
are
play
there.
against.
Yes.
I mean, so
Italy's high up there as well.
Yeah, which is interesting, which is great actually. So then that obviously put you in really good stead for the world champs. That's when you're like, okay, this is the real deal. Like, so how
oh my God,
was there any difference between the university games and this?
In terms of what?
Quality level, expectation.
So basically the preparations for the world championships were much longer. It was a whole month of training, twice a day, every day.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. you're not one for training, I can tell.
No, I'm joking. No, it was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in the middle of summer. Like you're spending your summer training twice a day, every day. Like it's not
inside
a dream.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. These are the sacrifices you have to make.
Exactly, the sacrifices,
yeah.
And at the end, it's always worth it. Like you never regret doing anything. So, basically, there was a month of preparation. We were there for all of August in Naples again, and then basically we were in Madeira in Portugal.
Okay.
As in, it's not in Portugal. It's an island off of it.
Yeah,
but
it's actually where Cristiano Ronaldo is from. Yeah. Go on United. Sorry. That's Manchester United for anyone who doesn't know that. Sorry, Madeira. So you were training in Madeira?
Exactly. No, we trained in Naples, but the competition was there.
Oh, I see.
2 weeks in September.
It was. Who came in as the favourite? So who were the team to watch out for? Were you like, okay, we need to avoid them, hopefully?
Netherlands.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Spain.
Okay.
Hungary.
Right.
Serbia.
Really? Okay.
No, Serbia. No. What was that team?
All European.
Russia.
Team.
Oh my God! Sorry, Russia. It was not Serbia. Russia.
Okay.
Those are like the top 4. Those were the really good teams.
Yeah,
it was between. Yeah, it was like us 5 were them.
Right. I see. And how many teams are in the whole competition?
I think 10.
Okay, so it's a good amount.
think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice. And
Or 12.
and were there any kind of standout points for you in that competition that were you must have some videos, right, or something, so you look back on and go, okay, I'm happy with this. This is something you can reflect on yourself and be proud of.
Regarding that
competition.
Well, I always really enjoy looking back at the video of the national anthem.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's like a big one.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And
Bit emotional?
It is. Definitely. I mean, because like I had zero expectations of getting there, and even during that month of preparation, because we were 21 people, I think.
Okay.
Training, and he had to choose 13.
Wow.
So
that's okay.
So I literally I was like 90% sure I wasn't gonna get chosen. But it helped me.
Yeah.
Because I had no pressure.
Yeah,
I had no because I was like, anyway, I was sure I wasn't gonna get chosen.
Yeah. Okay.
So I trained just like without pressure. Whereas I think most other players were like shitting themselves because they wanted to get chosen, and they they had to do it for for
pride of their family.
Exactly.
Really, of course.
I kind of assured everyone, like, listen guys, I'm not gonna get chosen, so we're just gonna take this. And I ended up training like without pressure, and I trained the best that I've ever trained. I think that month of training, like I was probably like I don't think I've reached after that.
Yeah.
I didn't reach that point again.
Okay.
Like I was just.
And that's purely because you're just playing for fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, well, I'm
just
enjoying
like
it.
Fun,
yeah. Okay. So how do you? Is that not something that you can reflect on and think, okay, I need to just take that approach to every.
Definitely.
Even,
for sure. Because, I mean, the connection. I mean, your mind and your body, the way that they it has to be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
If mentally you're not present, then your body isn't gonna perform.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's what happened to me as well at the World Championships. Then after, when I did get chosen, I was really shocked. First of all. And then the first few games went smoothly. Everything was going fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to the quarterfinals, and I just decided not to play well.
Decided? Okay.
Apparently.
Just had a bad game.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened. Like, to this day, I don't understand what happened mentally to me. But I just stopped, playing how I was playing before.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spoke a bit to the coach. We discussed a bit. For the semi-finals, he didn't play me again.
Okay.
Because he didn't want to risk
me
having another bad game, so he didn't play me.
Yeah.
Then we lost the semi-final, so we had to play for third and fourth place.
Sure.
And for that, I was like, I felt that I was ready mentally to play.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a final, so he didn't play me.
Okay.
And so there I was. I mean, I took it pretty badly because we won that game, and we ended up third place.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard when you don't feel 100% part of the win. Like, you didn't do anything, and it's hard to celebrate when.
But I mean, you did. I mean, you were part of the team that got them to that point in the first place. So you can't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
and what did you? So were there? And reveal as much as you like with this. Were there things going on in your personal life that were affecting you, or was there something on your mind that was distracting you from being in the present?
I mean, it could be because it's hard to really understand these things.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, in between my experience of the University Games and the World Championships, like literally, I had a 3-week break in between these two things.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a few days in Italy and a few days here at home. And there was something happened in the family, kind of. bad news. And I think that definitely did affect me. But it's hard. But I don't know, because again, during the whole month of preparation, I was doing well. So I don't know.
Is it a case of you didn't deal with it, maybe? Or
it could be, yeah.
I
mean, I have no idea of, I have no idea of knowing if it did affect me.
Yeah.
But I mean, probably did.
Yeah. This is. Sometimes if you bottle things up, if you don't deal with them, then they end up coming out at some point when you, whether it be a manner that you expect or not.
It was also. I was super. I've always been very. Well, ever since I moved from Malta to Italy, I've been very kind of hard on myself, and like I've always had a low self-esteem in water polo. Water polo wise, like I never really.
You not backed yourself.
I mean, I didn't think I was like anything special. I was very hard on myself,
Yeah.
And so when I got to that competition, I kind of thought. I thought like that I wasn't good enough to play a final or whatever. So.
Well, even to get into the team, that's a feat in itself.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're when you're kind of in that kind of a place mentally, you don't really tell yourself that you deserve to get chosen. You tell yourself that I was lucky,
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously now when I look back on it, it's not like that. But when you're in the moment, you don't really believe that you like deserve to be there and everything.
But you clearly do. This is the thing. I think if my best mate was here, there's a thing we've got into when it especially comes to sports. I've managed to get us into quite a few situations because typically I'm made up of probably the opposite of you, which is about 90% confidence, 10% ability. And where I've managed to get I remember when I first moved to Malta, I got I'm not a bad football player, but I'm not great, let's be honest. And I managed to get a trial for the Nishar Lions, who are now in the Premier League here in Malta. And I turned up thinking, I'm just going to have a kick around. And then they're going, okay, do you have your FIFA documents? And I was like, what the fuck have I turned? I was like, oh shit, I think I've outdone myself this time. So I think if anything, you need to dial up your where you're clearly very, very, you have a high ability. You're super skilled to be able to get to international level. And okay, you weren't in the team that played that match in the semi-final, in the final to get the bronze, but you were part of that squad that were played in the games to get to that point. So without you, they wouldn't be able to get there anyway. So and that's where I think it's, even though you weren't on the pitch at that time, you were in that squad and you did play. You did have it. You had an integral part down the right wing, I imagine.
Yes.
So I think that's where you need to maybe try and and this will come. I mean, you're 20 years old, so I'm sure you will.
I mean, now
appreciate yourself
when because the thing is that it was kind of like, it was a weird thing because I knew that I was getting better. I knew I was learning a lot because I learned even more that summer. And in fact, I think I think between last season and this season, I've had the biggest step up in my life.
Nice. Okay. In terms of believing in yourself, or
that, and but also because it was based on actual proof that I did get better in a way,
Yeah, okay.
Because I did consciously, like it was just, since I had no pressure and no expectations, I was just absorbing all the information I could. And so by the end of summer, I had learned so much.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so then I was really excited to start this new season this year, with everything that I had learned. I was really motivated.
Yeah.
And so that definitely did help me confidence-wise, even though, I mean, I did struggle a lot with the whole idea of not having played those last few games, because that hurts you, like, psychologically.
Of course.
But at the same time, I was definitely more confident. I believed in myself more this year.
Yeah. And it's something that everyone suffers from, imposter syndrome. Where you just don't feel like you belong somewhere, and you're not alone with that. I think it's prevalent. So I think the fact that you can identify that and be like, okay, cool, but I do deserve to be here now. So fuck you. Exactly. And I think it's nice to see that or at least to hear that you're now then going, okay, this is I am good, and this is what I can add to the team. So it's really nice to hear.
It's a pity that this year we didn't get to finish the season because it was going well. Like right before the virus, I was at a really good place physically, like, and mentally actually. Like I was just at my best.
At your peak.
Yeah, at my peak.
So
and then just everything just.
So what about so we had on our last episode Evan Lynch, who's like a dietitian to elite athletes. How you should watch it. It's good. How important? To what level do they go into your diet at the international and even at your club level? Is that something they trust you to monitor, or is that something you're doing yourself?
Well, internationally, as in with the national team, it was definitely a big thing, because obviously they would plan our lunches and our dinners. I mean, we wouldn't just cook what we wanted. Yeah.
So it's not just pasta.
For lunch, it was always pasta at first, or rice, carbs.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And then actually both lunch and dinner, we always had the starter, not the starter, the first plate and the second plate.
Prima.
Esatto, primo, secondo. And exactly, so every meal would consist of first pasta or rice, and then some sort of protein, either like prosciutto, or meat, obviously, like chicken, or like eggs, whatever. Just a lot of protein and vegetables, obviously, as well. So for lunch and dinner, always that.
Okay, so staple. So okay, that's good.
Which gets a bit. I mean, it got a bit.
But then it's giving you the energy that you need.
Just that,
wow. Okay, this is the same.
No, like no sweets.
And what about
chocolate?
What about so when obviously I'd imagine when you've got a bronze or even a silver, you're going to go and celebrate. So what is there? Are you allowed to have alcohol? Is it frowned upon? Is it okay as long as you can swim it off?
It is okay. I mean, obviously they expect us to celebrate, as in on the night, on the last night they let you do what you want, basically, because I mean it's done. Like now
you're an athlete, you've done all these things.
Exactly.
So now it's like, okay, let your hair down.
So both on the night of the silver medal and on the night of the bronze medal, obviously we drank. I mean, it's just what you do.
Yeah, of course.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
But during the year when I play with Verona, I guess alcohol isn't like a huge taboo. I mean, they know that
you can have a beer here or there, whatever. You can have a beer here or there. It's just
exactly. You just have to, obviously, everything with moderation, and like you can't, as in you're not encouraged to go partying at the weekend, but at once every few weekends, if you want to go to a club, like they're not gonna stop you,
Yeah, okay. So they're not like
no, they're
on
not
top
like
of
that.
you.
No.
Okay.
And
well,
they're
good.
not either with the diet. It's quite. They leave it up. They leave it in our hands.
Okay.
They trust us.
Yeah. Okay. Unless it obviously becomes a problem. Right?
Exactly. Unless they see that something's not going well.
It's not. Okay. Nice. Wow. So, looping back round then. So let's talk about your stammer. So, I mean, you wouldn't know you've ever kind of suffered from a stammer.
In English, no.
No. So when did it first? When were you first aware, and then how did you manage to overcome it?
So. My parents noticed that I started to stammer when I was 3 years old. So,
so young. Okay, yeah.
And I honestly don't remember much of my childhood with like the stammer. I don't remember, like it's like a blur for me. Like I don't actually remember me stammering. I started to kind of notice it when people started to point it out. At school mostly, like it seemed not normal to me because I had been doing it for so long.
Yeah, of course. This is who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then I think when I was around, I'm not sure what age, I think around 8, 9, like from then onwards, people would kind of start to I mean, I never got bullied for it, but you get comments on it, like you get people like imitating you, basically. That's usually that's usually what would happen, like if I would go like they would go
yeah, okay. Those kids
exactly.
can be nightmares.
But that's all really. And I just started to get really self-conscious over it. As people would point it out, obviously. Yeah.
Did you ever feel that it was a problem, or did you just manage it?
When I got older, yes. I mean, up until now, because so when I was really young, I went to a speech therapist. Then I stopped for a while, and then when I reached kind of like those, that very delicate age, like 15, 16, it really started hitting me.
Okay, yeah.
I because it's always been, because I've always had friends who were very supportive of it, like who wouldn't make me feel different for it. Like they would be really patient with me, because when I was younger, it used to come out much more.
Okay.
Like it wasn't like how I speak now. I was much slower at speaking, and I would get stuck. But
what do you to people that maybe have a friend that has a stammer? There are things. What does it mean to be supportive? How can you support someone?
You just have to be patient and just wait. Don't finish their sentences for them, and don't interrupt them. Like if you see that they're trying to get something out and they're not managing, just wait. And don't make them feel awkward about it. Like don't look around just like awkwardly, like just like look them straight in the eye, just like as if they're just
speaking.
Just like you just have to make them feel normal, because if you make them feel like they like something weird's happening, then, and that still happens to me like now, because when I'm in Italy I still stammer much more than I do. I mean, it's much more obvious. And so it's kind of something that I've relived. It's like I've relived the whole like English stammering in Italian.
Wow, okay.
So even though I got over it in English, in Italian I'm still a bit behind.
Okay.
And I definitely got better, because I've been speaking Italian now for 3 years, and so it does get better slowly.
Are there certain techniques you go through when you're? I imagine again, I don't know. I'm just imagining. So you're trying to then calm yourself down. Is that why? Like, how do you? What's the process of like going? Okay, come on, let's just get this phrase out that you're stuck with. Or do you not think about it and you just say, okay, it's frustrating, because you need the word to come out and it's not coming out. Yeah. And there's nothing else to do. You just, like eventually it comes out. In that moment, it's just I don't really think. Like it's not something that you can consciously think of. I guess if anything,
it comes out on its own.
If you overthink, then that makes it worse.
For sure. That's something that I've learned this year. That a lot of the times when I speak to people, because my stammer is very based on the response that I'm getting from the other person, and if I see that this other person is either not interested in what I'm saying, or is like impatient, like kind of has something to do, then I'll start stammering because I'll sense that, or else if I sense that they don't know how to react, then I just get awkward, like, and most of the time I try to kind of end the conversation or end my sentence as quick as possible and just like give it to them. So a lot of the times while I stammer, I'm reading like what they're thinking.
I see. Wow. Okay. Okay, well, interesting.
Yeah.
And so what did you, obviously one thing you said to me, it was a big thing that helped you get over it, was you gave a public speech. I
went to a public speaking course with my father. It was a course.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in fact, I think that was a big step for me when because basically when I was around 15 and I was getting really worked up about my stammer and very insecure, that's when I started going to the speech therapist. And this speech therapist would organize group meetings, basically, with people who like had the same speech disorders. And he offered, like, he asked me if I wanted to do this public speaking course, which he organizes.
I see. Okay.
And so,
what's it called? Do you remember?
The course.
Or who's it with? Just so other people want to find it.
The name is Joseph Ajus.
His
name is Mr. Joseph Ajus.
Okay.
And he definitely helped me a lot. So I think that was a big step for me with the English speaking, because as well, basically during this course every week you would have to present like a little mini like a presentation, a small presentation where you'd speak about any topic.
Yeah.
And they were actually the presentations where I wouldn't stammer at all, and it was kind of frustrating, because it's like this is the only place where I could stammer and not get judged, because everyone here knows I stammer.
That's funny.
So I can just stammer, and like it's fine, and it's just I wouldn't stammer at all. It's like
because you're at ease.
Because you're at ease, because you're not because you're like whatever, like I can stammer. And
of course, that's so funny.
Yeah. And in fact, so that I think that was a big step for me with the English speaking, but I'm still dealing with the Italian.
And the Italian side. And is there anything you can draw upon from your previous experiences getting over it in English that you can now apply to this in Italian? Or is anything you're going to do? Can you go to a speaking course in Italy? Would that help?
I think because my stammer is more, as I said, it's more of a psychological thing. It's all about how, my feelings.
Yeah.
Like if I'm feeling nervous, if I'm insecure, like I'll stammer more. And it's just it's like a circle, because it's a cycle, because I think, it's because I think if I don't stammer, as in if I don't think about stammering, I won't stammer. But that's me thinking about not stammering.
I see. Okay.
I mean, so it's hard to get over. It's hard to consciously not care about. That's the thing. I'm constantly caring about not stammering.
Okay.
It's so like in my head.
It's always like a little devil in the back of your mind.
Exactly. It's always there.
Yeah. Wow.
And so what I need to get over is the psychological element. I have to genuinely believe that I don't care, because I can't just tell myself, I don't care, I'll stammer, because it's not true. Like I still care about it, Yeah. And so I have to get myself to not care. So do
you think then, so obviously when you're 15 at this delicate age, and you're so concerned about stammering publicly, do you think that was a reason that you delved deeper into sport? Because you didn't have to speak, because then you're like, okay, well actually I think so.
I think it really could be. It was a 100% an escape for me, sport, and I mean it still is. It's exactly like you don't need to use your voice at all. It's perfect. And it's also it was also well, it still is, but at the time when it was very much a relaxed atmosphere, and at the time, I considered myself good. It was also a place where I felt confident. It like that gave me confidence, and it was something at school I wasn't as confident because of the stammer and everything. So sport, definitely gave me the confidence that I needed. It was for 2 hours I felt like on top of the world.
Yeah, nice. Wow. All right, great. So in terms of looping this back around then to kind of sport and encouraging those, not just in Malta, in Italy, across Europe, especially younger females or even older females. What kind of steps do you think, if I'm someone that's always maybe wanted to get into sport, maybe I'm not going to be an international athlete, but what's the first steps you think you can the easy steps to make to get into a sport of some kind?
Well, it depends on the age.
Yeah,
for sure. Because when you're young, you definitely like you start a sport just wanting to have fun, and waterpolo is definitely a hard sport to start, because it's not based on running, which many young children they know how to run, and so it's like they're already halfway there. But to be able to play waterpolo, you need to know how to swim. You can't just and a lot of the time little children get discouraged because it's hard to swim, and it's hard to to stay afloat and to hold a ball in your hand. So I think it takes a lot of courage to throw yourself in there and to trust that with time you're going to improve, because I think it's sometimes it's so hard at the beginning when you're starting a sport like that you just get discouraged immediately, but you really need to trust that you are going to get better.
Yeah, I like that. So basically the thing is throw yourself in at the deep end, and then you will. Exactly. It will be painful to start.
Exactly, a bit like when I moved to Italy. Yeah,
exactly.
Throw yourself
we're very adaptable. We're able to
survive.
So
for sure.
Brilliant. Well, do you know what? This has been amazing. I'm so glad you kind of made the time to come on, and
I'm really glad
that you've. Yeah, no, I feel really lucky that you're in Malta, and we can have some of your time, and also so I can just learn. I now know so much more about water polo.
I hope so.
I don't think I'm going to perform. I'm not going to play the sport. I don't think.
But are you good at like swimming? You know,
I can swim.
Freestyle, like.
Yeah, I can swim. Yeah, I can. Yeah,
but
I mean, I'll give it a go.
Again, you're 90% confidence and 10% ability. So.
But I don't need the armbands or a rubber ring, so I can give it a go. I just think a whole hour I might be a bit like, you know. But I'd definitely give it a go. So if there is a game going, as long as you go easy on me in Malta, then I'll get my speedos out and play a game. But is there anywhere? It would be amazing to obviously. So next year is the Olympics, or when is the next World Champs? Are you hoping to go to Tokyo or the World Champs next? What's the?
So basically, obviously, I mean the Olympics got moved to next year, and there's already a team which is getting like they already have a team which are preparing for the Olympics.
Sure.
And there's no way of me getting into that team. But I think after those Olympics, I think they will kind of start, because many people have reached their age, you know, they're like in their they're verging onto 30.
Yeah, okay.
So most people, you know, end their career with the Olympics.
Yeah, I see.
So probably after the Olympics, many people will retire, they'll stop playing, they'll have to create a new team.
Yeah.
And they have 4 years then to create a new team for the next Olympics. Yeah. And so hopefully...
It'll be 3 years. Because it's just been postponed by one, isn't it? Doesn't mean,
so it's 3 years.
So it'll be 3 years. Well, I mean, it'll be 4 years from now, but yeah.
So it will still be then in
2014. 24, sorry, yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, see. So is there anywhere that we can... you're definitely going to be an inspiration to many, not just girls or females, but also men and boys.
Mm-hmm, so.
Is there anywhere people follow you, ask questions? Just going to learn more about the sport, more about you, and how to overcome certain challenges, much like you have numerous times.
I mean, my Instagram is open for anyone to come and send me a message. If anyone, it's at Elena Borg 99.
There we go. Okay.
If anyone wants to ask me any questions or wants to know any more information on my life, I will gladly answer.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't be afraid. I don't bite.
And you've been an absolute pleasure, and I want to see you in a couple of years, but with the confidence dialed up. At least by
me too.
At least by 30%.
Me too.
But you're clearly you have a lovely family around you. You kept your feet on the ground, and I really look forward to the next 10 years and seeing you progress even further at the world stage.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed myself.
It's been a pleasure. Brilliant. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.